like that junior class is really good?
It's definitely weird that 5 years later, a lot of the kids that I came in with aren't here. But these younger classes, I mean, they're all, we've done a great job of, coming together. And even the freshmen in the 2 months that they've been here, I feel closer to them than, perhaps in the past. So while, yeah, it is weird looking around and, sometimes I'll say a joke that only guys that I came in with would understand and everyone just kind of looks at me. That's tough to get used to. But no, I mean, it's there's a great group of guys in that locker room. It's, it's not too bad going on day-to-day life. Yeah, they had a guy, I think they have a guy, a defensive end, who was on the roster in 2007, which was my sophomore year of high school. So, yeah.
You've been through lots of opening days, opening weeks, camps, and stuff like that. How has this camp been different than previous ones, and how are your expectations for the season been?
Well, for starters, I'm healthy, which is an absolute difference from the last couple of years. Body feels great, and I think a lot of that has to be attributed to the staff that's been brought in, the way they've handled our bodies and the practice schedule and our off time. And they've done a great job of managing that time. So I think guys are feeling fresh and ready to hit somebody other than, for me, Brent Urban for once in my life. So there's a lot of excitement in the locker room, a lot of buzz. And that's the great thing about college football is that first game comes around and the whole nation kind of gets a good vibe going.
Will this captain role correct your style?
No, because we got Jake Snyder obviously walking around with his gray streaks in his hair at 22. I kind of let him deal with all the discipline stuff, and I'm the good cop. And obviously I play that up much more than it actually is true. I kind of get guys believing that he's the big hard guy, but no, I still like to have a little fun.
What were your initial thoughts, I guess, when you saw this schedule and working with that, obviously, offseason? How important is it make this opener considering what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun when you're playing teams like that because a lot of guys, much more people will be watching, a broader audience. They'll be watching for, to see what BYU is going to do, and hopefully by the end of the game, they'll be like, wow, those kids from Virginia can play ball. So it's great having the spotlight on you. It helps you motivate yourself, and obviously BYU is the first opponent, and we're only worried about them right now. But they pose a lot of specific things that they do that's going to be difficult to handle, and we're ready for the challenge.
Luke, Rio Walker may leave here without having started a lot of games. Team leaders and captains typically started. What is the record like? Because obviously he's a good part of the team.
Rio's an interesting guy because he's a quiet guy. Obviously hasn't seen as much time on the field as a lot of other people, but he does things unquestionably the right way. And even myself, I look up to him in a lot of ways. He's come in here. He's obviously very talented. He's seen a lot of action consistently over his career, but he's never really broken through on the starting job. But he still comes to work every day. He takes the same approach every day. He never gets down if he thinks he's playing. I mean, you wouldn't even be able to tell if you thought that maybe he would have that disgruntled belief in his mind. And he's just the ultimate team guy. Obviously, he's a huge contributor on special teams and that in all four phases. So he just provides a great example for young guys and old guys like myself.
What have been your impressions of the progress Ross has made, etc. During camp now that
It's very impressive with Ross because I mean the transition or that battle had a lot of ups and downs for everyone that was involved, and it wasn't a smooth path for Ross throughout camp. I mean, there were some practices where you thought coach was going to rip his head off, but that's kind of the ebbs and flows of any football camp. And the most impressive thing about Ross was the way he handled it. And when days when he'd come out and maybe struggle a little bit, that next day he'd come out and you'd have to say like, wow, like he had a really great day. And that's big when guys growing into a role and you're trying to gain confidence in the guys you're playing with, and when that he can bounce back from maybe a bad day with a really good day, then it just builds confidence in who he's playing with, and hopefully at the center position he'll be able to get the job done.
Coach referred to being walking on.
Yeah, and he's pretty animated during practice. So when he gets in the film room, he's much more calm and less ready to do anything crazy. But on the field, he gets a little worked up.
How difficult? What are the challenges of facing 3-4 and Avi in front? You guys faced 3-1 last year and had a whole lot of success. Is this maybe the toughest one that you faced?
Well, that's one of the things I was talking about. 5 years ago, I practiced against one every day when Coach Groh was still here. Coach Walk is kind of talking about it like it's this foreign object, but I've unpleasantly been beaten up by the old Nate Collinses of the world for too many plays. But yeah, I mean they obviously pose a lot of difficulties because it's not something you get to. They practice what they do every day, but we don't get to practice against necessarily what they're offering every day. But we've been prepared more probably than we would have been in previous years because of some of the things that Coach Tuda brings to the table in his defensive scheme, and that's helped us gain confidence. We've seen a lot of similar looks, and hopefully that'll help us when things are happening on the field adjust quickly and be able to get back to Coach Walk and kind of work things out.
As a guard, what's your different responsibility as opposed to playing it as a center? Absolutely.
Yeah. I won't have a 300-pound guy over top me every single play. No, it's fun playing against a 3-4 guard because you get to do a lot of things, pulling and hitting linebackers, and obviously helping out on the big boy in the middle. But yeah, it's a lot of freedom. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Luke, how would you evaluate your 3 running backs, and what convinces you the running game will be better than it was a year ago?
Well, the first thing that convinces me the running game will be better is, we've, like I said, seen so many different looks in camp, given to us by the defense, that we've dealt with probably more movement to this date than we did at the end of last season. Just because he offered, they're slanting and twisting and blitzing every single play. And the other thing is those backs, especially with Kevin, who's been here and proven to be a downhill runner, that he'll stick his nose in there and get 3 or 4, when it's available, and if the big play happens, and he'll be able to hit that too. And then obviously Smoke and Khalik offer a lot of dynamic playmaking abilities. So
You were one of the guys that kind of was self-critical of the line and said that you didn't give them a reason to run the ball last year and maybe lack toughness. What's different in that regard this year, and how did you guys go about changing it?
It's tough to put a finger on it, especially without having played any games yet, without being able to point to results. But it started in those winter time when you kind of self-reflect on the season, you look back and nitpick things that you could have done differently. I think the biggest thing is the attitude that we've taken towards everything this offseason has offered, whether it had been spring ball or workouts or with Coach E or just getting together as an offensive line 3 times a week and going through plays and drills, and when Coach Walk isn't there to guide us through it. I think just as a group, we're more confident than we were last year, and that comes with playing against the defense that we did, and that comes with maybe the leadership that Morgan and myself provide. But there's definitely there's a bit of a confidence that's floating around. Maybe it's arrogance, I don't know, but no, we're just excited to start hitting somebody and put our resume out there.
With all the movement you said you've seen in practice with the defense, what's your impressions of the pass rush? We keep hearing different guys from different places and all that. Does it make your head spin sometimes?
No, I mean, yeah, sometimes they get going in those blitz periods and you're kind of just, asking what's next. But I think we've done a good job of handling ourselves. And obviously, they get you every once in a while. But when you practice 20 some odd times and, so many days, they're going to get you. And but that's part of the growing process. And, hopefully we'll be better for it.
What is impressive about pass rush?
Well, obviously with, those 4 guys up front, I mean, they're quick, they're big, they're strong, they get on your edge fast. They offer so many different things, with Brent being about 6'7" and 300 pounds, then Dean being about 6'1" and 300 pounds. they just offer, and then Jake and Eli are obviously completely different players, but they offer you a lot of different. There's a lot of variety up there, and they're all good at what they do, and it's going to be exciting watching them beat up on someone other than myself.
Who's the scout team Kyle Van Boyd this week?
I think we got Max Valles out there.
Okay.
He's a tall, lanky guy who can move really well. I think he beat me on Saturday when I wasn't paying attention. No, but he's going to offer a great look, I think. And we got him watching the tape. I think he's kind of stepped into the role pretty well.
Making the calls, or is Ross making the calls, or is it some sort of combination of both?
I've let Ross make the calls. You have to let someone grow into that position, and I think what I offer is the confidence, or it gives him the confidence to know that if he does by chance make the wrong call, that I'll be there to fix it. And so it takes the thought process away from him. So instead of thinking is this right, he just makes the call, and most of 99% of the time he's been right, and he's done a great job with it. But obviously I'm there with a lot of experience, and I can set him on the straight and narrow and get going. And the biggest thing is with Ross is week 1 maybe it won't be his best week of making the calls, but by week 2, 3, 4, after he gets a couple starts on his belt, I won't need to make any calls. He's a smart kid, so he'll be all right.
You brought up Smoke. Obviously that's a nickname. I'm not sure how long he's had it, but he's a new guy here. Did you guys kind of make him have to re-earn that for you guys to call him Smoke?
No, that's just that's his name. He obviously, I don't even know the history behind why they call him that, but he dazzles you. So he earned it this summer, and I'm sure he'll go out there and on Saturday and make you guys ooh and ah, call him Smoke, throughout the season.